Hello, year six. Hope all of you are doing so well. And in today's video, we're going to take a lesson about probabilities. You guys took this with me last year, most probably also the rest of you who have just joined us this year took this in their old schools. If you didn't, don't worry. I'm just here to teach you this from scratch. And even for those who took this with me last year, I'm going to just pretend that you didn't take it at all before. So let's start here. I just prepared a PowerPoint that I guess I used with you guys last year. Probabilities. First thing that we need to know is what is the meaning of probabilities? Probability, if you noticed here, when I started the presentation or when I started talking to you about probabilities, the first thing that I said to you, most probably you guys took this last year. Probability here means possibility. When I said most probably you took this last year, I meant that there is a high level of possibility that you took this last year. So the meaning of probability, probabilities are the different levels of possibility of something happening or being true. It might be like really possible, or it is, I might say, as I said in the beginning of the video, most probably you took this. I might say, no, I don't think that you took it. Still possible, but the possibility level here is low. If I say, guys, I don't think that you took this before, so the probability is really low. All right, what or how is this related to mathematics, Mr. Ahmed? Probabilities or possibilities, how is this related to mathematics? It is really related. It's related a lot to mathematics. All right, let's continue here. Oh, whoa, Mr. Ahmed, this is the Egyptian pound, the Egyptian coins. Yes, and all of you, of course, know this. Here is that we have the coins. It's just very important to know the names. I guess most of you already know, but I mean the name in English. In Arabic, we have different names, of course. You guys know them as Malik and Kitaba, but in English, we don't call them this way. We say heads, which is the picture heads. And the number over here is tails. So we got heads again. Heads is the picture, tails is just the number over here. Okay, so I'm asking you here, how many options? First, guys, the probability. Once you just hear the word probability in a question, remember the fractions. So how many parts do you have over here? If we're dealing with coins, if I toss a coin in the air, if I toss a coin and I ask you how many options, how many outcomes might happen there, what are the possibilities that you might find when I toss a coin? You will tell me, Mister, it's going to be either heads or it's going to be tails. Yes, good, perfect. So how many options are these? There are two options, Mr. Ahmed. Perfect. Two options. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask you another question. What is the probability, which means here, what is the possibility of finding on the coin, or when you toss a coin, of getting the, what's it called, that game that you guys usually play, especially the boys? Yeah, Fortnite. The Fortnite game picture. What is the probability of finding Fortnite game picture when you toss a coin, the Egyptian coin? Oh, Mister, how many of them is Fortnite picture? Zero, Mister. None of them is Fortnite picture. It's 0 out of 2. Okay, so when I toss a coin, you mean that it is impossible to get Fortnite picture? Yes, Mister, it is impossible. Exactly. And this is the first thing that we're learning about probabilities. The probability of getting here in this situation, when I toss a coin to get Mr. Ahmad Fadl's picture, it is impossible. To get Layla's picture, it is impossible. So here is the first word that we are learning impossible, which is here as a fraction. I have two options, 0 out of 2. 0 out of 2 as a fraction is Mr. Ahmed Fadl's picture, for example, which is 0% as a percentage. Great, awesome, thank you. All right, what is the next option that I have here, or the next question? If I ask you, okay, we agreed that how many options do we have in all? We might get Mr. Actually, we have two options. We agreed heads or tails. All right, what if I said to you, what is the probability of getting heads? When I toss a coin in the air, what is the probability of getting heads? How many out of the two? We agreed all of them are two. How many out of the two are heads? One, mister. One of them. Okay, so that's a half, actually. That's exactly the half. Exactly, this is the half, which is what we call in probabilities. Remember the zero? When it's never going to happen, we called it impossible. But when it's half, we call it even chance. What do we call it again? Even chance. That's what we call it. Even chance when it's the half exactly. The half doesn't have to be 1/2, by the way, 1/2. Maybe I have 6 options and the option that I want is 3. 3/6 is also a half. 2/4 is also a half. 5/10 is also a half. And if you have any halves, we just call it even chance. So the probability is even chance. Here, what is it as a fraction? I have two options. I said, what's the probability of getting heads? It's one option out of two, mister. So here it is, 1/2. And what is it as a percentage? What's half as a percentage? We took this. Half as a percentage is 50%. Great, perfect. Another question, what is the probability of getting tails? Tails, okay, mister, I have two options in all. Tails is one of them. Well, only one of them is tails. So it's also a half, mister. Getting tails is also a half. Getting tails is also even chance. We call it even chance. Again, guys, you must study this. When it's zero, you must study and know this fact that we call it impossible. When it's the half exactly, you must study and know it as a factor that we call it even chance. All right, what is there then, Mr. Ahmad? What else is there? My next question to you, what is the probability of getting, oh, we said heads, you said 1/2, which is even chance. Tails, only, you said 1/2, which is even chance. What's the probability of getting either heads or tails? So when I toss a coin, what's the probability of getting heads or tails? Oh, Mr. Ahmed, it's just 2/2. Heads or tails, I have all of them are two options. Heads or tails are actually two options, so it's 2/2. So this is certainly going to happen, Mr. Ahmed. I'm sure 100% when I toss a coin, I'm going to get either heads or tails. There are no other options in there. It's definitely going to be heads or tails. Okay. And that's what we call certain. And it is here in this situation, 2/2. Mr. Ahmed, it is certain that I'm going to get either heads or tails, which is 2/2. As a percentage, it is 100%. It is certain 100% that I'm going to get either heads or tails. All right, good. So now we know impossible, 0 out of the options that I have. Even chance, which is a half, can be 1/2, 2/4, 3/6, and so on. Certain, when you don't have any other options, you're definitely going to get what you want. If I want heads or tails, I'm definitely going to get one of them. All right, what is the next? Here, the next slide. Your turn. I need you guys to just pause the video and answer these questions. Once you answer them, just to come back here to the video to check your answers. What is the probability of getting a black ball? A black ball, what is the probability? I want you to write both, write them all. The level, which is like, is it certain, impossible, or even chance? Write them as a fraction, write it in as a percentage as well. What's the probability of getting a black ball? How many black balls, how many balls do I have there in all to find the denominator? This is the first thing, find the denominator. All right, here it is, mister. The denominator, I have 10 balls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here we are, mister. 10 balls. How many of them are black? Zero, mister. That's it. 0 out of 10. So getting a black ball is impossible. This is what I want you guys to write. Getting a black ball is impossible, which is 0 out of 10 and 0% as a percentage. All right, the next question. What's the probability of getting a red or a green ball? Oh, 1 second. Red or green? Red or green? That means both of them. It's certain, mister, if I put my hand in this bag, I am definitely going to get either red or green. There are no other colors there. I am certain, sure, 100% that I'm going to get either red or green because I don't have any other colors there. So it is going to be certain, mister, which is how many out of 10? We agreed we have 10 balls. How many out of them, out of the 10 balls, are red or green? Oh, one, two, mister, all of them. All of them are red or green. Okay, so it's 10 out of 10, which is 100%. Again, guys, if I put my hand in this sack, I'm going to definitely get a red or a green ball. That's why it is certain. When it says a red or a green or green, the word or here in probabilities means you add them up. So it's as if red plus green, red 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and sorry, 5, 6, 6 red, 7, 8, 9, 10 green, 10 out of 10, Mr. Ahmed. All right, the next question here, or the next page. Here is a die. It's called, by the way, guys, you might find the word die or the word dice. Die or dice. It's just this dice that you see here. What is the probability of getting a number that is less than 7? You all know that a die or the dice has 6 numbers on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's all what the dice have. Okay, okay. And here, what is the probability of getting a number that is less than 7 if you roll a dice? Mister, it is certain. I'm sure 100% if I roll a die, I'm going to get a number that is less than 7. It is certain, Mr. Ahmed. This will definitely happen. So it is certain. How many is it as a fraction? Here is certain. As a fraction, Mr. I have 6 options. All of them are 6 options. Yes, okay, but how many of them are less than 7? All of them, Mr. 6 out of 6. That's it. So that's what you need to write. As a fraction, it is going to be 6 out of 6. Okay, what is it as a percentage, Mr. It's certain, which means 100%. Great. Let's go to the next example. I want you guys to do this on your own, please. Write it here. The level in words is if it's certain, if it is impossible, or even chance if it's the half exactly. Let's see here. What is the probability of getting a number that is less than 4? Less than 4. How many numbers are there less than 4? What is the probability? Find the fraction first thing. Find the fraction. The first thing that you should find is the fraction. How many of them are less than 4? write the fraction, then choose the level if it's certain, even chance, impossible, then write the percentage. Pause the video now, pause it, answer, come back to check your answers. What is the probability of getting a number that is less than 4? Well, less than 4, mister, it means that I need to cancel 4. I cannot take 5, it's not less than 4. I cannot take 6, it's not less than 4. Yes, 1, I have one number, two numbers, three numbers. So I have 1, 2, 3, three numbers out of the 6, mister. So 3 out of the 6 are less than 4. Okay, what is this? Is it certain, even chance, impossible? Mister, this is even chance, even chance. What is it as a percentage? It is 50%, mister. It is the half exactly. All right, let's check if what we have done here is correct or not. Look at this. Even chance, 3 out of 6, 50%. Perfect. Here is the third question. What is the probability of getting a number that is greater than 6? Pause the video, answer it, write it first as a fraction, then in the level of probability, then percentage. Pause the video, then come back to check your answers. What is the probability of getting a number that is greater than 6? Here it is, greater than 6, mister. None of them is greater than 6, mister. None of them. All of them are either 6 or less than 6. I have either 6 or less than 6, but none of them. So it is 0 out of how many? 0 out of 6 options. I have them all are 6. All what I have is 6. So 0 out of 6, which is impossible. Impossible. And as a percentage, it is 0%. All right. Here it is. Impossible, 0 out of 6, which is 0%. Perfect. Okay, the next slide here is teaching you. Mister, is it always just about impossible? That's too easy. Or certain, which is also easy. Or even chance, which is the half. Is it just about that? No. If you have a fraction that is more than a half, bigger than a half, we call it, oh, sorry. If you have a fraction, let's see here what I wrote first. That is less than the half, if it is smaller than the half, between 0 and 50, it is less than the half, we call it unlikely. Unlikely. So if you have any fraction, like for example, 2 out of 6, is this 0 to call it impossible? No, mister, this is not 0. Is it certain? 100%? Not even certain. Is it even chance, which is the half exactly? No, the half exactly is 3, mister. So what is it? Is it less than the half or more than the half? It is less than the half, Mr. Ahmed. Less than the half is unlikely. We call it unlikely. All right, good. What about more than the half? If I have like 4 out of 6 or 5 out of 6, maybe 5 out of 6, it is what we call what? We call it likely. This is what we call likely. Okay, so here it's just saying unlikely is less than half. Then we have here likely, which is more than half. Likely, which is more than half. Oh, until like 5 out of 6? Yes, it is likely. You might say to me, Mister, I have like 100 numbers from 0 until 100. What is the probability of getting number 59? Well, that is only one number out of 100. Yes. Is it impossible? No, mister, it's not impossible. But, mister, it's very hard to get this. It's still not 0. So, guys, any number that is less than the half, forget about my example if it's confusing to you about the 59 or 0 in a number between 0 and 100. Forget about this example if it's confusing to you. It's just what I'm saying, if it is not 0 exactly, so we can't say it's impossible. If it's 1 out of 6, for example, we call it unlikely, unlikely to happen. Okay, guys? All right, so any number that is less than a half, unlikely. More than a half is likely. Let's go back here to the dice and ask a few questions. Just a second. I'm gonna go back to the dice. Here it is. Here is the die. All right. If I say to you, what is the probability of getting an even number? You have here the dice, you're rolling the dice. What is the probability of getting an even number? Here is the dice. Please pause the video and answer my question, then come back to check your answer. If you roll a dice, what is the probability of getting an even number? Pause the video, answer, then come back to check. All right, even numbers. Mr. First thing, I need to write a fraction. How many numbers do I have there in all? I have 6 numbers in all. 6 numbers. How many of them are even? I have the 2, 1 number. I have the 4, 2 numbers. I have the 6. So 3 out of 6 are even. So it is even chance, even chance. All right, perfect, which is 50%. Good, mister. All right, another question. Okay, no problem. What is the probability of getting a number that is smaller than 3? Again, pause the video, answer, then come back to check. What is the number what is the probability of getting a number that is less than 3? All right, mister, here I have 2, it's less than 3. 1 is less than 3. Shall I count 3 itself? No, mister, 3 is not less than 3. 3 is just equal to 3. All right, so I have only 2, but 2 out of how many? It's 2 out of 6. Is this the half? No, it's not even chance, mister. So what is it? It's less than half, which is what? Which is unlikely. Unlikely. We call it unlikely. This is what we took a few minutes ago or a few seconds ago. Unlikely. Okay. Sorry, guys. Unlikely. All right. What if I say, what's the probability of getting a number that is greater than 1? It is bigger than 1. All right. Pause the video, write it as a fraction, write the level, and then come back here to me. Greater than 1. What is the probability of getting a number that is greater than 1? I have here Mr. 2, 1 number, 2 numbers, 3 numbers, 4 numbers, 5 numbers. Greater than 1, I have 5 numbers, Mr. 5 numbers out of 6. 5 numbers out of 6. Is this certain? Is it 100%? No, it's not certain, mister. Is it going to be impossible to get a number that is greater than 1? Of course, no, mister. It's not impossible. Is it even chance exactly the half? No way. Is it unlikely, which is less than the half? No way. It is more than the half, mister, which is likely. It is likely. Just to save time, I wrote only L, but you're supposed to write likely. Mister, what about the percentage? You don't need to find the percentage except just only for the impossible, certain, and even chance. And even if they ask you for the percentage, they're going to give you numbers. You already know how to do this using the calculator. 5 divided by 6, then multiplied by 100 will give you the percentage, but they will not ask you about this. Just in case they ask you, they will give you maybe denominator that can be converted into 100, like 4 out of 5, you multiply by 20. This is the percentage sign, guys, the percentage lesson, I mean, 80 over 100, which is 80%. They will give you things that you learned, like converting denominators that have 5, 4, 20, 25, which can be easily converted into 100 or turned into 100. Well, forget about that percentage. Just focus on the probability, likely, unlikely, impossible, certain, even chance. You need to Learn this very well, everyone, and study them. Here is what I'm talking about. You must study all of these very well and what they are called and when we use them. Okay. All right. Is this everything, Mr. Ahmed? There is one very small thing here, this word file. I want you guys now to answer this on your own. Question A, B, C, D, and E, F, G, H. Answer them on your own, please, and then come back to check the answers. Please answer them on your own on a piece of paper, and then come back to check. Here it says, if you spun the spinner one time, this is the spinner. If you spun it one time, what is the probability it would land on a gray piece? First, write it as a fraction, then write the level. So here is the fraction. Gray is 2 out of how many? 2 out of, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all of them are 7, 2 out of 7, which is unlikely. So I need you to write here unlikely. All right, the fraction here of landing on a black piece, it's only 1 out of 7, mister, which is still unlikely. All right, the probability it would land on a white piece, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 4, mister. 4 out of how many? 4 out of 7. Is this the half? No, mister. What is the half of 7? We learned how to get the half of an odd number. Go 1 down, which is 6. The half of 6 is 3.5. Just put there a half. So 4 is greater than a half, so it is likely. Of course, you have to write likely. What is the probability of landing on either white or a black piece? We said or means plus. So white or black, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Black is 1. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of how many? 5 out of 7. 5 out of 7 is exactly, not exactly, it is more than the half, which is likely. All right, E, F, G, H, if you didn't do them, please do them, then come back to check your answers. What's the probability it will land on a 3? 3, how many times does 3 happen? 3 happens only 1 time out of 6 numbers. There is only 1 3 there out of the 6 numbers, which is unlikely. Please, guys, I hope that you posted the video and you already answered them on your own on a piece of paper. What is the probability it will not land on a 2? Okay, not land, focus. So all the other numbers, the probability it will not land on a 2, I have 5 other numbers, mister. 5 numbers out of how many? Out of 6. So the probability it will not land on a 2 is 5 out of 6, which is likely. You need to write, of course, likely, not just letter L. The probability of it landing on an even number, even numbers, mister, there are 3 numbers out of 6 are even, which is even chance. You need to write here even chance. The probability it will land on a number greater than 6, 0, misters. 0 out of 6 are greater than 6. No numbers are greater than 6, so it is impossible. You need to write here impossible. That's it. Everything or almost everything about probabilities. Thank you so much, year 6, and see you tomorrow.